Welcome back to the Buckhouse Podcast, the realest podcast on the planet. We dive into marriage, motivation, social media, and the everyday struggles nobody wants to talk about. No filters, just the truth. My name is Benjamin Buckhouse, one of your hosts, alongside Johnathan Buckhouse right over there. Two brothers that get together once a week, talk about everything, nothing, everything that's going on in our life. Just catch up. We have no plan in this day or in this podcast. We kind of just let our actions and our kind of thoughts just wander and just go from there. We assist each other, give each other advice, and do fun things like that. Currently, Johnathan is about to be leaving today in probably like 2 hours, not even like 3 hours, maybe. I don't know. He's leaving soon to head over to, where is it, New York or something like that? He's going to go hang out with Gilson Snowboards to work on his new company, Buckhouse Wax. Tell us about that, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, so I leave in an hour and a half, and it's me and Roman Dog, my son. He's coming with me on this trip. We are flying into New York City, and this is the coolest part about this whole experience is I am about to go on a business trip, also a snowboard trip, because there's going to be 2 days. I'm going to go compete in a rail jam, which I haven't done in a couple of years. So I'm going to go compete in a rail jam, and I'm also going to go ride Big Snow in New Jersey, which is the only indoor snow dome in the United States. And my son gets to come along, watch his dad compete in a snowboard competition, gets to go snowboard with his dad in Big Snow, but also gets to go to New York City, which he went to during COVID, and he was like 2 years old. So he's like, now that he's older, he's been asking, he's like into sharks and the ocean and cities and the Titanic. So he's asked a couple times this year if he could go back to New York City. Can I go back to New York City? So he knows he's going on a trip with dad, but he doesn't know where he's going, what's happening. He knows he's going to go snowboarding, but he doesn't know he's flying from Denver into New York City today. Gets to be in New York City like he wants. And then we're going to drive from New York City to Pennsylvania, where the warehouse is where they make the snowboards, hang out there for a couple days. That's where the event, they're doing this huge, they call it Summer Snow Day, because they chuck in a bunch of ice. They do a big rail jam. They got a bunch of local beer companies that give away free beer and just run this huge, like, before this winter party. And it looks really rad. So I get to be there to support them with that. But also I was like, I'm riding in this rail jam because I want to ride in Pennsylvania. It's such a unique, weird area or thing. So I'm excited for that. And then, after that event's over, we'll head over back to New York area, hit the Big Snow, and then me and Roman fly out the next day. And it's going to be an adventure. I'm excited, really thankful for this opportunity because not only does it sound like a really fun, rad trip and all the stuff we're going to be doing and to like explore New York City with someone that lives in New York City, but the whole underlyingness of this trip is to start chipping away and to get our first order of Buckhouse Wax in and to just build this structure and to work with dudes that have been successful in the snowboard industry, understand the snowboard industry, and that are willing to help me. And obviously where I can help them is with social media and promotions. And there's something that I brought up to them that we're going to kind of build out as well, which is I want to do Gilson Week this year around like November, December timeframe, where the whole week on my YouTube channel is dedicated to Gilson snowboards, and we'll like review multiple of their products, and see if it like boosts their sales, and if it does really well. And obviously I'm going to work with them, and if it does boost their sales, then I could take that information and then try to sell weeks to other snowboard companies. So like, hey, do you want to do a Burton week? Hey, do you want to do a Clue snowboarding week? So sell weeks to other companies during the peak time of the season, which could become very profitable. If I could sell a week of advertisement on my channel for like 30-40 grand, could be a big deal.
Holy cow, there's a lot to unpack there. I'm gonna just piggyback off of your most recent kind of sentence there. That's a insanely good idea, bro. Like, that's an insanely good idea of doing the like weekly, like kind of peak times of the year. You go ahead and promote a brand during that time, call it a sellout, call it whatever, but at the end of the day, like, you're probably still going to be making great fun content during that time. It's just that you're going to be repping and kind of mentioning those brands during that time, and it adds value, right? It's like you're doing almost like a review while being in that, like, you know during that time. So that's sick, dude. Um, Starting off with Gilson is a great way to start, and then what's kind of cool is, I'm sure you've already thought about this, but it's like you can film a week of content earlier in the year, like, when it's not as peak yet, peak season, but then go ahead and post them when it is peak season, right? So like that's a great idea, bro. I'm stoked for you on that. I hope that that really works out for you. Also this
Yeah,
whole
I had that idea. Sorry, not to cut you off, but that idea came in my head like 2 years ago or last year. And the idea is like a company like Gilson, they have a bunch of models. They also have skis. So like the idea would be I would review 3 of their flagship snowboards. The fourth video I would break down their edge. Like they have the soft edge technology. So I'll dive deep into their soft edge technology would be a video. I would review a pair of their skis. I would review their, which is funny because I suck at skiing, but I would just like get on a pair, like, I would make a ski video with their skis. And then I would make a powder day video with their powder board. And then the 7th video would be a live stream, actually, wrapping up the week. And I would be able to answer anyone's questions that they had about the board and everything like that. So like the week, so it'd be 6 videos, and it would end with a live stream, like Q&A, answering all the questions about the boards.
That's actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like that's a great structure to it. If you could have someone that's actually skis do the skiing stuff, I think that's the only thing that you could do like differently. But yeah, like going over their 3 flagships, I think that's great, especially because that makes kind of the most sense, right? Especially you could do like a park board and a all mountain board or whatever, and then you, like you said, a powder board, things like that. And then from there, though, yeah, focusing on something that they specialize in. So the soft edge for Gilson, or whatever Burton has. I'm so out of the game, I can't think of it right now, but you know what I'm saying. Like, talk about what's unique to the brand, or whatever it may be. Because that as I'm learning more and more about sales, it's like, what separates companies apart is what sells them, right? So some people may not care about that soft edge, so they may not, like, I'm not talking bad about them at all. It's just, some people may not care for that soft edge, so Gilson may not be the board for them, right? But maybe Burton's specific binding system is not the selling point to somebody, so they don't want Burton, or this or that. So I think that breaking it down and like really diving into it, and what's great is you're actually going to be writing the boards you review. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, I'll actually be on the boards. So that's one thing we're going to structure and kind of get dialed in this week, is that. And then the building a Buckhouse wax, there's a lot of excitement behind that. And it's one of those things where obviously my strength is going to be selling the wax. Like I am fully, what's the word, confident in my ability to move products, specifically snowboard wax, to make content around it. I already have like a trillion new ideas of how to promote it and all kinds of stuff. What I suck at, and where I'm hyped to work with Gilson Snowboards, is building the business structure behind it. Even though I've done very well for myself in a way with my YouTube channel, it's so different than, like, I want Buckhouse Wax to be like what gets me into legitimate snowboard products. Obviously starting with the wax, then the scrapers, then the wax irons and the wax kits, and just like continually to grow Buckhouse Wax into something that then can maybe grow into something more in the snowboard industry. But to build a legitimate business that possibly one day could be sold or acquired, or it just stays in the family, and it's just one of these things that does well. And if I ever was to pass away, I'm not leaving my kids with a YouTube channel. I'm leaving them with a legitimate business that ideally makes $1 billion a year. I don't even think that's the market. Like the market cap's not even that high, but just building something that's what it really comes down to is like, look at the influencer market. No one was paying Mr. Beast what he actually deserved for how much views he was pulling. No one's paying Logan Paul, Ryan Trahan, any of these YouTubers their proper ad rate for the views and attention that they can bring to ad plugs. Also, ad plugs are annoying, especially because they're so like weird or out of pocket, or like, like you're watching a Mr. Beast video of a guy losing 100 pounds and he's like, now let's talk about the video sponsor, Tower Defense Elephants. And like, it's just like, it's a video game and it's just like, what the heck? But to be able to plug and to offer people a better experience on the mountain with a product that's actually going to give them a better experience on the mountain, because a wax snowboard does feel exponentially better than a non-wax snowboard. But like when I get reached out by brands, they're like, hey, can you review this ski goggle? I have a goggle sponsor, Kuno Optics, but let's just use goggles for example. Like, could you review the ski goggle? I'm like, sure, I'll review the ski goggle, $2,000 to review your ski goggle. And they go, ooh, I see. We thought we would just send you a ski goggle and you would do a review for me. It's like, oh, okay. So you want to send me a $20 pair of goggles and have me do a minimum of 4 to 5 hours worth of work. That's not just work, it's skilled work. I've developed my camera presence. I've developed an audience for the last 10 years. I learned how to edit. I learned how to build a story of selling something. And you want me to do all of that for $20 when I already have ski goggles? So brands aren't willing to pay creators. And as more and more people become creators and it becomes easier to become a creator, it's weird. Is it becoming easier or harder? It's hard. I don't know how to look at it, but there's definitely more creators. There's more people willing to just take the ski goggle. Because I remember in the beginning, you get the first person reached out and like, hey, we want to send you something for free. You're like, yes, I'll take free stuff. Eventually you have so much free stuff. You're like, stop sending me stuff. I have so much free stuff, which sounds awful, but it's one of those things where you can only wear one pair of goggles at a time. So what this long-winded fitness that I'm getting to is, I would much rather, because in every video there should be an ad plug. If you're doing your job right, you should be plugging something. And I've always done a good job with my stickers. Always get my stickers plugged in my video. I've been very successful selling my stickers because of that. Thus, I know if I could do an ad plug with my snowboard wax, then I think it will do very well. And that's just the beginning. Obviously, the goal is to get into ski shops and all that type of stuff. Once again, I've been doing this for 10 years. I always say this, that like, I'm more known than my follower count, especially in skiing and snowboarding, because a lot of people like don't subscribe to a skier or snowboarder, but they definitely know who I am. And so if they go into a Christie Sports and they need wax and they see the Evolution logo, they're gonna be like, no shot. I watched this dude like 5 years ago on YouTube, and look, now he's got wax. I gotta buy the wax. And it's the only consumable in skiing and snowboarding. It also I'm a snowboarder, but it tailors to skiers. So it's a product that skiers will buy. It's a product that snowboarders will buy. I could get it into ski shops or on Amazon, and someone could buy it not even knowing who I am. So like the list of reasons why I want to do this are endless. And I'm just really thankful that God provided who I believe are like the raddest people to do this with and to help me. And I'm just very thankful for this opportunity. That was a big
Dude, like, I'm so stoked for you, and I'm also just like thinking of like my brain is going all over the place, because yeah, you're right. It's once again, the reason why the stickers were so successful for us was because if you were a fan of Johnathan and I, then the Evolution sticker was like awesome, because not only did it look cool, but it was relatable to a certain extent, right? Everyone has seen the Evolution logo in life, whether you believe in it or not. Right? Everyone has seen the monkey to man, evolution. So then also have that kind of play on like to a snowboarder was kind of fun. And then you also added like the ski designs, that way it could go to a skier. But what I'm getting at is like people would stop by, and even if they didn't necessarily subscribe to our channel or subscribe to us and care about what we were doing, they could have still liked that sticker and bought it. Or even if somebody just stumbled across the sticker online, they may find it interesting and buy it. But so many people, like if you were to look at a Mr. Beast logo where it's like the blue lion thing with the lightning bolt going through it, yeah, it looks cool and everything like that. But if you don't really know who Mr. Beast is, like it doesn't really like stand out too much. Or like it's not like I have to have that sticker or anything like that. So going back to what I'm saying is like you could have the wax in the shape of the Evolution logo, and like somebody going into the shop is like, oh, that's funny. Like I like I'm a snowboarder. Like I like that. That's cool. And you can also do the ski Evolution, right, for the skier side of things. So like yeah, like the possibilities are endless. You could do like kind of the stomp pads and scrapers and everything as well. And just build like the why behind it, right? I know that you talked about having biodegradable wax for your brand and everything like that. Like have a actual purpose, not just buy my wax because it's my wax. It's like this is high quality wax, the best smelling wax in the game, all that stuff. But no, bro, I'm stoked for you. The best smelling wax in the game. I thought that's what we talked about like last year. But anyways, I think there's so much potential here, and yeah, that's sick, dude. You're right there. I see it. I see it. I believe in it. I know that you're gonna do some crazy stuff with it. Yeah, I'm stoked for
like
you.
a big reason why, I've dabbled in jackets as I look over at 2 buckets full of windbreakers still. I sold out of one color, which is actually very exciting. But then I still have like roughly 50 windbreakers over there. I've dabbled. Like stickers have been very successful, but like I couldn't imagine like getting into snowboard jackets and I sell someone a snowboard jacket. Well, when's the next time they need to buy a snowboard jacket? Me personally, I like to get a new jacket every year. I like to look fresh and new. I'll still wear the previous jackets and whatnot as I look into my closet full of jackets because I have a rad sponsor called Vertica and they've hooked me up with an ungodly amount of jackets. But as I look at it, it's like, okay, if I create a product like a jacket or a snowboard and sell it to people, they don't need a new one ever, probably. Especially like a merch jacket, like the windbreaker. It's a rad windbreaker. I'm still rocking the same ones that I got 4 years ago when I launched the windbreakers. They're still great, like they're quality, like, and you don't wear them every day, so like there's no reason to get new ones. So wax, a bar should last you like 3 to 4 waxes. You should wax every 3 to 4 days of snowboarding. So all of a sudden someone should be needing to buy 3 to 4 bars for a whole year if they're snowboarding like 30 plus days a season to better their experiences. And then there's also like the need for temperature wax. So like peak January, December, you should be using a really cold wax. And once you hit March, April, you kind of hit an all temperature wax. And then you hit this, or not March, February, March, you're all temperature. And then, yeah, you hit April, May, you should be definitely using a warm weather wax. So like there's different temperatures. So people will be buying bars that way. So it's almost like, dang, just by the temperatures alone, you got people buying 3 bars to hit every temperature.
Yeah, and going back to your jacket conversation, it's like you want to make high quality stuff, and yeah, if you're making high quality stuff, of course people aren't going to need to buy again soon, right? And not saying that the wax isn't going to be high quality, it's just that it's a consumable product, right? So you make something that's high quality, but yeah, it doesn't. It's literally not designed to last forever. It has a limited usage out of it. So and that's like business, right? So if you think about all the top YouTubers and everything, right? Mr. Beast, Ryan Trahan, Logan Paul, they have all gotten into grocery stores, right? Mr. Beast has the Feastables chocolate bars, and Ryan Trahan has these like healthier gummy candy alternatives, right? And then Logan Paul infamously has the Prime sports drink, right? It doesn't it's the most logical place to be in a business is to be in consumables. I've heard that one of the best places to be, which we can figure this out at a later time, but is software consumable, like something that someone buys as software, because you don't have to actually produce it. You don't have to have like a manufacturer or anything like that. It's just something that you create and then someone just downloads it from the internet type of thing, right? So anyways, yeah, like consumables, that's where it's at when it comes to having a very lucrative business. So no, bro, this is sick. I know last year when you went to Gilson, you had a great experience and learned a ton. So I hope that you get even more experience coming into this event. And I'm excited for Roman to go and have such a cool experience out in New York. Sounds like he's gonna do a ton, do some indoor snowboarding, watch his dad compete, and also go to New York like he's been wanting to. So I know he's gonna have so much to talk about, and his mind's gonna be blown. So
yeah, it's really exciting to be able to mix business and family, or like like that. Like I really hope. I do think it will be like a core memory. Like, dude, I got to go to New York City with my dad. Like, it's really cool because mom and sister aren't coming. It's just a dad Roman trip. It's like I've also like always thought this stuff would happen, if that makes sense. Like, when you have your little kid, you're like, dang, like me and this guy are gonna go on snowboard trips, and like here we are, we're doing it. It's here. That time is now, and so I'm gonna definitely cherish this and enjoy it and make a video, like a travel video of the whole thing, and obviously of the rail jam. And I've been rocking the Burnt Custom. It's my favorite snowboard to ride, but obviously for this trip I'm gonna be rocking a Gilson board. So we'll see how I haven't rode this board since middle of winter. I'm about to jump on it they have like a sketchy platform drop in that's made with ice chunks, like a ground up ice cubes into snow. And I don't know, I'm riding really good right now, so I should fare fine. But I'm gonna be out there winging it.
yeah, I haven't gone snowboarding in so long. I've been wanting to make a trip out there, trip up there.
Gotta get you in the backyard park while we still have it. Me and Bobby put an offer in on a house. It didn't come through. The lady legitimately took the house off the market after our offer. That's how bad our offer was. I'm joking.
Well,
but
this year, so since I'm doing car sales, this year my schedule will be different. I don't have Saturday, Sunday off anymore. I've got Thursday, Sunday off. So this year, with that flexibility, I'm sure that there'll be a day in the middle of the week, Thursday, where I can just come up and go hang out with the boys, right? While my wife's at work and everything like that. It won't be an issue. So, yeah. I'm sure
and
we can
you
make
get
something happen.
For free. We have
Snowboard for free.
The lift.
There you go. So, are you officially staying one more year or not yet?
It's hard. I think we have our eyes open for any possibility. Obviously, if you've been listening to the podcast, we're just trying to move closer to my son's school and Bristol school, because Bristol's supposed to, like, I don't say supposed to, Bristol can start this school this year, or she can start next year. If she starts this year, she'll be kind of one of the youngest in her graduating class, kind of like you, graduating at 17 years old. Or if she doesn't go to school this year, which if we stay here, she won't be going to school this year, because the balance of half-day kindergarten or pre-K and getting Roman to school and stuff would be hard. But also it's a bummer because that means Roman and Bristol only spend 1 year in high school together. But, or anyway, it's something like that. Anyways, so if we find a rental closer to the school that just pops up, we might, let's jump on that and get closer and then put Bristol in school. But it's looking like no, because, well, one, I've never seen so many houses on the market. Like every day, 3 to 4 houses get listed up here in Summit County. Can't afford any of them. They're all like $1.3 million. And then there's like 2 to 3 rentals coming up every single day on the market as well. But everyone's asking for $5,000 a month for like a 3-bedroom house. It's like, what? Like $5,000 a month? That's almost $1 million home that I could, if I'm gonna pay that, I'm gonna buy $1 million home. So it's a weird time. We're trying to figure it out. It's not easy. It's adding a lot of stress on our relationship, me and Bobby, because I mean, obviously she's kind of the driving force, as she should be. She's the mom. She's the house. She takes care of the household. I run the businesses and provide for the family, and she makes sure that's like, hey, we need new couches. And I might be like, She's like, no, we need new couches. I'm like, okay, you're the boss. You're the boss of the house. You tell me what the house needs. We'll make sure we do that. So, so she's telling me that we need to get a better family situation. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll try to figure it out. But in the process of trying to figure it out, nothing's working. And it's like, Argh! So yeah.
That's tough. And I know you'll find something, bro. I know you'll find something. And that is an interesting perspective, though, to see. I'm not saying I disagree at all, but yeah, the wife is, she's the one in charge of the house. She's the one that tells you what needs to happen, and I feel the same with Kirsty. She tells me about what we need to do in our move, and everything. So yeah, I get it.
One of the frustrating things is, and I'm all about people getting their money and their appreciation and everything like that. But one of the frustrating things is on Zillow, you can see what people bought their house for before they listed it. So everyone's listing their houses for like 1.3 million for like the most generic basic house. Now, granted, guys, I live in Summit County, Colorado, one of the wealthiest counties in the United States, one of the most desirable places to live. But, you get this 3-bedroom house, which we need a 4-bedroom. Let's just go with 3 bedrooms that pop up. And their outside is not taken care of, like needs to be painted or resided. Like it's just brutal. And then inside, the kitchen's stuck in the 60s, 70s, like super outdated appliances, super outdated bathrooms. Like nothing about this house is screaming $1 million home. And they bought the house for like $350,000 in 2016. And just because we're in 2025, they're asking for $1 million plus because of the stupid COVID boom and all that type of stuff. So it's like, but you're like anywhere else, your house is just a little house. But I guess everywhere is actually kind of expensive now, but still. I don't have the answer for the housing situation, but it's super frustrating.
It's tough because like I know what you mean. Like it's not like you can compare what they bought the house for, right? Because somebody could have bought the house in the 60s for like 70,000 or something, right? Or and I may be even I'm just throwing numbers out there. It may be expensive or not expensive back then, but anyways, it's like they could have bought it for nothing when they first got the house. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not worth anything though, right? Like it's still, it could be evaluated at a $1.3 million home now and stuff. So they have every right to charge the amount that they do, but at the same time, like, yeah, don't have a $1.2 million like appraisal on a house that like doesn't have updated appliances, doesn't have AC, doesn't have a well maintained area. Like there's although you live in a really nice area and so everything in that area costs more, that doesn't mean that everything needs to look like, or like that doesn't mean like it just costs more. It's like there's a reason why it costs more. Yeah, we're in a really nice area, but also if I'm spending that much money, I'm gonna expect to see something of quality. Yeah, like I see what you're saying, and it's tough because it's not necessarily like you're telling those people stop ripping me off, but it's just like, if I'm putting in that much money, you gotta maintain it to a certain level. Doesn't matter where I live. Like You have to maintain it to a certain level. So I don't blame you for having that opinion, bro.
No, totally. And then from like the 90s to the 2000s, you can see this like, I don't know the percentage, but it's like an average like house growth. Like obviously houses are supposed to be investments. You buy it, you can sell it for a little more than you purchased it for, later. But you're talking about like a $700,000 increase in equity just because the year 2021 happened. Does that make sense? It's like in 1990 you bought this house for 200,000, and then in 2000 you sold the house for 240,000, and you got 10,000, or for every 5 years you got $10,000 in equity. And then 2020 happens and you go up $800,000. Like, where'd that like 10,000 every 5 years go? It just vanished. Obviously that was a simplified version of that, but it's way more complicated. I've learned so much in the process of trying to buy a home. I learned how to look better, to appeal to creditors, all kinds of stuff. It doesn't help that I have my own business. The list goes on, and a lot of it's like, what do we want to sacrifice in order to own? Is it even worth sacrificing things to own? And is it, like, I do think it's worth still living in Summit County and being up here because it's August and I still have 5 weekends, which is 30 days that I can still go snowboarding. Like right now, like, which is crazy. Like I can still go make content. I can still do stuff. And so it's so hard. Like I don't want to move anywhere else. I love where I live. I also had my 2 kids were born up here. I moved up here when I was a kid, and I became an adult. Started my business up here. Like the list goes on. I don't want to move, but like when you're almost being forced out of my home because people bought second, third homes, and now they're trying to rent them for an ungodly amount of money, where they bought their second or third home at a ridiculous price during COVID, and now they are forced to sell it at that high price. It's just like, ugh.
A lot of people moved here, which increased rent and housing payments and everything, but also it was just like so many people moved here, and it just made the living experience not as desirable in my opinion. So it was one of those, like, I was fortunate enough to be born and raised in Colorado Springs, and so to be feeling like I don't belong here anymore, or I don't even want to live here anymore, yeah, it kind of sucks. It's like, this is my home, right? And you're one of the few people that can say that they're a local to the mountain, right? Like, I shouldn't say one of the few, but like, it's not like you've been up there for a year or even 2 and you're like complaining about this. It's like you've been up there for over half your life. For over half your life, you've lived in the mountains. Like that's your home. That's where you live. That's where you deserve the right to be there. Essentially, you've fought through it. You've gone through 18th winter. You've gone through thick and thin. You did the whole like living in a 1-bedroom apartment with a roommate, and even actually 2 roommates at one point. That type of stuff, right? Like, you've gone through thick and thin. You've quote unquote paid your dues by going to by working at the ski resort, right? And then you worked your way up at the local Target, and then here you are being an influencer now, and being a really important part of the community, essentially, right? So like, that's, you belong there, bro, type of thing, right? You really do. And it's not that it's like, I belong here, I deserve to be able to live here for cheap or anything. But no, it is frustrating to be like, I don't want to leave, right? I don't want to leave just because I can't afford it. Like, this is my home. Feeling like you're kind of getting pushed out of it. I'm sure it sucks. So, yeah.
But we're currently in a good situation, and if this situation disappeared, then yeah, we're looking at $5,000 a month to be up here, and that's like that's unrealistic in a lot of ways. And the thing that kills me is, man, I just been chasing the housing market my entire adulthood because you could be like, well, you should have bought back in 2016, you know. And it's like, well, I was only making so much money at Target, and then it's like I looked, it's like I'm just not making enough, and all of a sudden I quit my job and I go on all YouTube, and I'm like building this business, you know. As the business keeps making money, it's like maybe we could buy. The housing market's just outpacing me a little bit, and then COVID happened, and I did, like, my income increased awesome for 2 seasons with COVID, and then it's gone down since because COVID had a boom. But the housing market goes boom, explodes, and now it's like that's the standard, and it's staying there. But like the outdoor recreation, like COVID had this huge boom, and now it's completely died back down. And so, like, obviously my income was like, but, and I'm doing hand gestures just so you know, Ben, or anyone listening. But so it's like, I've always been so close to, I'm so close to getting a house. It's just always outpaces me. So now it's like, well, crap. Like, in order to buy something in the mountains, I got to live Fairplay or Kremling, like 45 minutes away from the mountains. Like not even living in Summit County. I got to move out of Summit County on the edge of Summit County in order to own something near it. And that's a big motivator for starting Buckhouse Wax, is obviously hopefully I can create a company that makes a lot of money that allows me to purchase a home for my family. So like, I hope that over the years of you guys now listening to me on this podcast and just in general with my YouTube, just know, like, I'm always trying the next thing or something. And like, I'm never staying stagnant or just accepting, like, oh, that's the way it is. It's like, okay, what are we doing next? How are we evolving? How are we improving? Everything like that. And so on that note, I am reading a new book called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. And this book's awesome. And obviously you have like people that could be your enemies, but you could also have things that could be your enemy. And I'm telling you right now, that's this housing market, the way things are going with the homes, that's my enemy right now that I'm hyper focused on, and being like, it motivates me to wake up every morning and work on my dreams, because it's bull crap.
I'm right there with you, bro. You were talking about buying a house in 2016, right? And that's kind of a meme for people my age, because it's like, I should have been buying homes in 2016. That's also the year I graduated high school. Like, I'm not really buying homes at that age or anything like that. So no, I get that, bro. But I'm right there with you, where it's like I feel like, Kirsty and I are moving. By the time that this podcast is up, we're gonna be in our new apartment. So my office doesn't look barren quite yet. There's most definitely less stuff behind me because I'm packing. But no, it's exciting to be moving to a new place, in a bigger place, in a nicer place, and we're super excited. But at the end of the day, like I talk about it, and I'm like, I really am excited. I'm so excited for this. But at the end of the day, like, it feels like a somewhat lateral move, because we're just going from one apartment to another apartment. Yes, it's a huge upgrade for us, but still, it feels like a lateral move, because it's not, getting into a home. And that's very much like you're saying, like, it's a very much a driving factor for me when it comes to my car sales, right? That's why I got the job. It's so that way I can provide a better, more efficient life for Kirsty and I, and to be able to have a house and everything like that. So working my butt off. Yesterday I accidentally worked like an 11-hour shift. Like, I wasn't planning on it at all, but I was multitasking a ton and was getting a lot done. So there's that. And I'm actually working at pretty much another 12-hour day today. So you know, it is what it is. But if that's how I'm going to make enough money, if that's how I'm going to make a ton of money, that's what I'm going to do. So
No, I hope you are excited for your move. Sorry, I can't help you move because I'm flying out to New York City today. The brother-in-laws are stepping up. Don't worry, guys. All the brother-in-laws are gonna go help Ben move. He'll be okay. But I get the like because that's how I feel with Bobby. It's like not with Bobby, but like when we like look at places to move, it's like honestly, I feel like if anything we move into, it's a downgrade. It's like I don't want to downgrade our living situation just to be 15 minutes closer to school. Now, obviously, that 15 minutes turns quickly into an hour a day. We get back in our life, but it's like losing square footage of living space is brutal. Losing outside room. I have so much toys and junk and stuff from the YouTube channel. Once again, just getting free stuff like electric scooters and skateboards and bikes. And it's like, where are we going to put all this stuff if we move? So it's like, I only want to move unless it's like a legitimate equal lateral move and we still have all the space and stuff, or if it's an upgrade. And when I moved into this place and I hired 3 employees and I was like, oh, we're killing it. In my head, I was like, oh, we are going to like only go up from here and we're only going to go from this place to a bigger, better place. I'm going to own a compound and all this rad stuff, to where now it's like, dude, what's going on?
yeah, I know that Kirsty and I are going to have that moment as well, where we're moving into a new apartment that's a little bit like it's updated. It's built in the last like 8-10 years, maybe even less, right? So with it, it's more modernized, and then also we get great amenities of like 2 year-round pools and 2 hot tubs and a great gym and all this stuff, right? So like it's more modern and everything like that. But the reality is that our first home that we get into is probably going to be older, right? It's going to may not have that same modern design to it, but then on top of that, we're not going to have those amenities anymore, right? So like there's going to be a reality check eventually where it's like, although we're probably going to upgrade our space in comparison to your situation, right? And to go from no backyard to having a backyard. So like, yes, it's not the same kind of exact thing that you're referring to, but like there's going to be a moment where we essentially have to make a decision where it's like, sure, it's not quote unquote as nice, but it's what we need, right? It's a upgrade in what we need. So, no, I know what you mean, and it's just like that's the reality, and COVID was not helpful for you in any way, not only just the housing market, but also what it did to your business. So, but we can't dwell on the past. We gotta just keep looking at the future, right? Nobody cares. Work harder. Gotta just keep going. So.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful for COVID, the boom. I'd rather have been a part of it than to have missed it. It was a very big opportunity time. It allowed me to take shots and to test things like having employees and a lot of stuff like that. So like, in no way am I like, dang it. Like, no, it was awesome. But man, I know I'm not the only person in this situation. And I will figure it out because that's what I do. And I hope it doesn't come across as like whining or complaining, because I am in a very blessed situation and I'm very thankful for where we live. Just got to make my wife happy, man. When the wife's not happy, life's hard.
Yep. Happy wife, happy life. No.
Yep. I don't like that statement. Happy wife, happy life.
No.
I have a very happy life, even when my wife is not happy.
I feel bad for Bobby. No, I'm joking. No, it's one of those,
sorry,
just like
Bobby.
I believe I don't live my life by that sentence. It's more so just like a funny thing that you could say nowadays. But no, I've got this approach with Kirsty where it's like is like what you're saying, where it's like I need to be the best version of me, or I need to help her to become the best version of her, right? So like I need to step up and be a great husband so that way she can be a great wife, but it's also vice versa. So she needs to be the best wife possible so that way I can be the best husband possible. I forget the exact way that you say it, and I'm sure that you're going to chime in a second, but it's like I need to be supportive in her rock, and I need to be there for her, and I need to assist in every way I can to alleviate stress and lift stuff off her shoulders so that way she can do that in return, right? So that way she can, you know, alleviate stress from me and things like that. And uh there's also a great thing that I live by of like marriage is not 50-50. It's more like it's never 50-50. Some days it may be 70-30, right? I'm putting in 70% of the effort and she's putting in 30% of the effort. But there's going to be days where I'm having a tough time and I can only put in 10.
Basically, you're saying, I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back.
Not in an owing type of way, but what I was trying to say is like, so like some days I may have to put in 70% effort and she's going to put in 30% effort, but there may be other days where I'm not feeling well, or if I'm busy, or if I'm having a tough time, or whatever it may be, I can only put in 10%. So she's got to put in 90, right? But it's like, sure, that sucks. It's a tough day for her as well. She's got to do extra stuff. She's got to take care of the dog. She's got to clean more. She's got to cook dinner still, all that stuff. But then there's going to be another day where it's like, all right, I'm showing up now, right? She's busy with work. She's busy with family, or she's sick, or whatever it is. Now I got to step up and put in all that effort. And like, that's just the reality. But you can't compare them. You can't be like, well, I've just put in so much work yesterday, blah, blah. No, like that's going to ruin your marriage, right? Marriage is not 50-50. It's not a I owe you, you owe me type thing. It's like a where are we at mentally, where are we at physically, where are we at emotionally, where are we at just in life, and where do I need to meet you? And by just being there for each other, you're gonna thrive, right?
I really like the not every day marriage is going to be 50-50. Some days it can be, but like you said, there's definitely days where a partner is carrying the weight, and that goes for parenting as well. You know, I'm rocking my dad merch today, best dad ever. Just full dadded out for anyone listening, but it's one of those things where, you know, some days I'm super dad. I'm running at like 80%. Bobby can like disappear. Guess what? At least for Bristol, for the next 6 days, I'm at 0%, maybe 5, because I'll call and tell her good night and good morning and talk to her through the phone. You know, like there's many moments where you aren't running at 100 or even equal with your partner, and so you gotta embrace them and help them through their lows and crappy days, because you're gonna have lows and crappy days that they're gonna help you through it. So I love that advice, for sure with the marriage. And one thing that I don't want to say I struggled with, but I'm very conscious of now, as I got to chase my dreams and build a business, and obviously I'm still doing that, but I'm decently established now, that my wife has dreams too, and she has things that she wants too, and it's not just about what I want and what I'm building, because it provides or things like that. Like, you have to take in consideration the dreams and wants of your spouse as well. And I think some dudes or people that are doing something kind of forget to focus on the other people's dreams in their relationships, right? Because the kids are gonna have dreams too, and I got to be better at putting Roman in soccer practice and or into football, or what does he want to do. It's not just about my dreams and my traveling and things. Like, the kids are going to need to play sports soon, and I got to figure that one out and navigate it, because they're going to have dreams and wants.
That's exciting though, you know. That's exciting.
Oh, it is pretty exciting. I'm bummed because I found, like, last year they ran like a Pee-wee football league up here, and it looks like they did it for the last like 8 years, but this year when I look it up, nothing's updated. So like, I really hope it didn't go away this year, because Roman's also just turned the age to go play Pee-wee football.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something. I know he's super into football, especially the kicking side of it. So I'm sure there's something though. That's that is like an unfortunate part about living up in the mountains is that you don't have as many like supportive sports clubs and things like that, right? But I'm sure you'll be able to find something, bro. But
We'll figure it out. But I got to get out of here. I got a flight to catch. I got to go build a business. Obviously, I'm going to come back next week with a bunch of rad, exciting things to talk about. So, like, subscribe. I hope you got something out of this podcast. We did this one early. We started this at like 3:20 in the morning. So I hope our energy wasn't low. We usually start a little later in the morning, but we had to make it work. So thanks for waking up early, bro.
no problem. I felt like our energy was fine. But you're right, though. Time to start wrapping it up. So thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for being a part of the conversation down below. Let us know your guys' thoughts. Let us know your opinions. We would love to hear from you. Once again, my DMs are open for you guys if you need anything.
Like a car. Yeah. Get a car from Ben.
Yeah, get a car from me. Cars are going well right now. So if you're in the Colorado Springs area, come talk to me. Yeah, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being part of the podcast. Thank you guys for being here. We really do appreciate it. I think we killed it, bro. I think we had a great podcast.
Peace.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.